All right, so today we're going to be going through the notes of power of a power. And so like we went over yesterday, when you have product of a powers, when you multiply the same base together, you add the exponents together. And so on this one, a to the m times a to the n is a to the m plus n. Add the exponents together. If you have a power of a power, so you have a to the m raised to the nth power, you're going to multiply the two exponents together. And so that's what we're going to see today. And so power of a power example, if we were to write this in expanded form, we're going to have this parentheses is going to be written 3 times because it's raised to the third power. And so it's going to be 6 to the a times 6 to the a times 6 to the a. And so this 3, what we're going to see is anytime you have a power on the outside of parentheses, it's going to expand it like this. And so now, like we did yesterday, it's going to be 6 to the a plus a plus a. Because when you have multiply like bases, you add the exponents together. So a plus a is 3a. That's my final answer. And again, we could have gotten that by multiplying the exponents together. A times 3 is 3a. So using the formula chart, like up here, the base is 6, and therefore, using this rule right here, we're going to do 6 to the a times 3, which is 6 to the 3a. For this next one, the base is y, that's the big number, or the big letter. And so therefore, when we do y to the 10th raised to the 5th power, I could expand it by writing this 5 times, but it becomes a lot to write it over and over and over. And so like the rule says, we're going to multiply 10 times 5 to get y to the 50th. And then for this next one, we're going to have, on this one, there's multiple different items inside the parentheses. So it's a little bit different. I've got 3 different bases on here. I've got a base of 25, a base of x, and a base of y. And so for this one, we're going to see this exponent's going to go to everything. But we're going to write it in expanded form so we can see that. So since there's a 2, we're going to write this parentheses 2 times. So 25, x to the 5th, y to the 13th. And then write it a second time, 25, x to the 5th, y to the 13th. So when we multiply these together, we have 25 times 25, which if I go to my calculator, is going to be 625. And then x to the 5th, that's going to be x to the 5 plus 5. Because they're like bases, we add the exponents together. So x to the 10th. And then y is going to be y to the 13th and 13th. So we're going to add those two together to get y to the 26th. And so what we're going to see is when we have an exponent on the outside of parentheses, that exponent gets shared to everything. And so I could have also written this as 25 squared, x to the 5th squared, and y to the 13th squared. Where now we have 25 squared, which is 625. Power to a power, we multiply. 5 times 2 is 10, and 13 times 2 is 26. So for this one, we already did it up here. I'm not going to do this one down here, but this one does have 3 different bases, the 25, the x, and the y. And so I'm just going to, this is going to go down here. All right, so now let's go to an example. On number 1, simplify the following. So again, I have multiple bases through here. And this one's a little bit complicated because there's a negative in the front. And so we're going to put a parentheses around this -9. And so this cubed is going to go with the -9. It's going to go with the a, it's going to go with the b, and it's going to go with the c. And so I'll rewrite it as -9 to the 3rd power, a cubed raised to the 3rd power, b to the 5th raised to the 3rd power, and c to the 7th, again raised to the 3rd power. So that 3rd power goes to everything. Now I have -9 to the 3rd power. That's -9 times -9 times -9, which I don't remember that off the top of my head. I could go to Desmos, but I'm just going to come out here. I know 9 times 9 is 81. So I'm going to multiply 81 times 9, which would be 972. And so 729. And so this, because there's 3 negatives, a negative times a negative is a positive, but then back to a negative again. So negative 729. Power to a power, we multiply. So a to the 9th. 5 times 3 is going to be 15. And c, 7 times 3 is going to be 21. All right, going to the next one. So this one has a times. I'm going to separate this and look at these two separately, and then we'll put them together as we can. And so for here, there's nothing that I can do. I can't change anything, so I'm just going to drop it down as it is. 8x to the 7th, y to the 9th, z squared times, but now this 5 is going to go to everything. So again, that's going to be 2 to the 5th and z to the 5th. And so 2 to the 5th is going to be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and then z to the 5th. And so now when we combine these, we'll combine our bases where we can. So we're going to multiply our numbers first. Again, I could go to Desmos, but I'll do it without Desmos. I'm going to come out to the side. 32 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16, so 6 carry a 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is going to be 25. And so we're going to have 256. There's no x's over here, so the x to the 7th is just going to drop down. And then y to the 9th, there's no y's over here, so it's going to drop down. And then we have z's, z squared, z to the 5th. Those are like bases, and so it's going to be like z squared times z to the 5th, like we did yesterday, is going to be z to the 2 plus 5, so z to the 7th. When you multiply like bases, you add the exponents together. And so that's our notes for today. And so now you'll move into the assignment and make sure to let me know if you have any questions.